So you have finally decided to start your own web design agency and you're all excited and pumped up to take this venture to the next level. And now it's time to hire new team members who can help you achieve your goals with this new venture. But as a new agency owner, you might be wondering, how can I make sure that the web designer that I'm going to hire will be a good fit for my agency? Well, if that's you, then in this video, we are going to talk about 8 points that you can consider before hiring any web designer for your agency. So if that sounds interesting and you want to make sure that you hire a perfect web designer for your agency, then let's dive in. My name is Ankit and you are watching Brainstorm Force YouTube channel, the makers of the Astra theme. And just to let you know, this video is part of our complete playlist where we are covering how you can start learning web designing in 30 days, how you can start freelancing using these skills, and how you can use your freelancing skills and scale that to start your own web design agency, and how you can run that successfully. If all that sounds interesting to you and you want to learn everything from the beginning, then I would highly recommend that you go ahead and watch our playlist from the very beginning. We will link the playlist in the I button above and in the video description below. So with that out of the way, let's start with the point number 1, and that is ease of working. Now we kept this point in the very beginning because of the reason that this is the point which is going to help you understand what are the skills you need to look in a candidate, because you want someone who can work along with you for a very long time and can help create a positive environment in your agency. Now I'm sure before looking into the technical skills of the candidate, I'm sure you want to look at the skills which are required to create a healthy environment and culture in your agency, and you want to hire someone which can help you lighten your workload and someone who can take responsibilities without your involvement. For example, if you are going to hire a web designer who is going to work remotely for your web agency, then you must check if the candidate is compatible in working in the remote environment or not. Along with that, you should also check if they have a positive attitude towards learning new things and what are the latest trends in the industry, how good they are in learning all these new trends. And once again, if they are going to work in a remote environment, you need to check how good they are in their time management skills, and along with that, how good they are in verbal and written English, because all these skills are going to help you create a positive environment and work culture in your web design agency. And that brings us to point number 2, that is look for platform experts. Now web designing in itself is a vast field and you are going to find web designers with an amazing looking work portfolio, but they are not using the same tools and platforms that your web design agency is looking for. For example, if your web design agency is using WordPress for creating all the websites, you need to make sure that you filter your search and you are only looking for web designers who are specifically working on WordPress. For example, let's say you are a WordPress web design agency, so you definitely need a web designer who is expert in WordPress, WooCommerce, page builders like Elementor and Block Editor. So you need to make sure that the web designers that you are searching for your web agency, they are expert in the platform that your web design agency is working on. So always make sure that you look for platform experts only. And with that, we can come down to point number 3, that is designer's portfolio. Now this one is no brainer. While you are searching for the web designer for your agency, you must be looking at their portfolio so that you can have an idea about what kind of websites they have done in past, what is their design ideology, and how exactly they execute the design. And as mentioned in our previous point, make sure all the portfolio that you're looking at is done on the platform for which you're looking for hiring a web designer. Like in our case, make sure the portfolio is based on WordPress and products related to WordPress only. And with that, we come down to our point number 4, that is client testimonials. Now this one really makes a web designer stand out. If they have a personal portfolio website with some real client testimonials, this act as a real proof. Along with that, a web designer might also have client testimonials or recommendations on platforms like LinkedIn or Google My Business as well, or maybe on some freelancing sites if you are planning to hire a freelancer. And all these client testimonials is a big help for getting the real authenticity and the proof of work done by the web designer. And then we can talk about point number 5, that is technical skills. Now once we have narrowed down our search to platform specific designers with some great portfolio and got some good client testimonials, it's time to look at the technical skills. How good they are in the core platform like WordPress in our case, how good is their design sense, how good they are in incorporating the latest technologies and AI into their workflow, their understanding about the branding, color schemes, and the basic design ethics. So these are some of the factors that you need to check maybe in a special technical round while you are hiring a web designer for your agency. Now, along with these technical skills, our next point is also very important that you need to look when you are hiring a web designer, and that is the experience level. And here you need to check how good they are in understanding about the domains, hostings, how the hosting panel works, and once the project is deployed, how we are going to take care about the security, how we need to do the backups and migration process of the website. So you need to make sure that you consider all these things while you are screening your candidates for the experience level. And once we have finalized all these points, it's time to go through a real test, and that is assigning sample work. Now this is not going to be a full-fledged web design project. You can give some small tasks like designing a landing page or designing a home page, and this is going to give you a clarity about various things. Number one, how good they are in understanding the design requirement, and number two, how good they are in meeting the deadlines of the task that you have given, and number three, you will be able to check their complete workflow, how they execute the project or the task from the start to the end. And this is going to help you shortlist the final web designers that you can hire for your web agency. And of course, you can give the standard compensation for this sample work as well. And finally, once we are done with all these points, it's time for the final step, and that is hiring contract. So before you go ahead and do the final steps of hiring web designer for your agency, make sure you have done all the necessary steps required to create the job contract. Even if you are hiring a freelancer or maybe you are going with a full-time employee, make sure you have done all the paperwork properly. So make sure you have included the payment terms, you have included the leave policies, and you have also included the general company policies and all the other necessary terms and conditions that are required for creating a job contract. Now this is not a legal advice, so make sure you go ahead and consult your local chartered accountant or your attorney before you go ahead and create all the necessary terms and conditions. Along with that, make sure the web designer you are going to hire agree on all these terms so that you can avoid any future frictions. And with all these checks and points, I'm sure you will be able to find a perfect web designer for your web agency. So if you like this video, then make sure you give it a like and share it with your friends and community, and especially with those friends who are just starting their web design agency and they are planning to hire new employees or maybe a web designer. And along with that, if you want to learn everything from the beginning, how you can learn web designing and how to start freelancing and then start your web design agency and scale it to the next level, make sure you check out our complete playlist that you will link in the I button above or in the video description below. So that's it for this one, and I'll see you in the next video.